Ferrari's 2025 season has been anything but what fans hoped for. After closing out 2024 in a fierce battle for the Constructors' Championship, expectations were sky-high heading into the new year. Everyone thought they'd come out swinging, but instead, Ferrari has struggled to keep pace, especially against the rapid rise of McLaren. Lewis Hamilton is trailing far behind both Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris in the standings, with Charles Leclerc doing only marginally better. Yes, Ferrari sits second in the constructors' race, but let's be honest, any dream of reclaiming championship glory for the first time since 2008 has already slipped through their fingers. But hold on, it's not over just yet. The team is gearing up for a major update at the upcoming Belgian Grand Prix, and insiders believe this could turn their season around. In this video, we're diving into Ferrari's last big gamble, why Hamilton is pushing for big changes in 2026, and how he plans to shape the team's future. Stick with us, you don't want to miss this. Now, despite 2025 regulations staying mostly unchanged, and this being the final season under the current rulebook, Ferrari opted for a major redesign of their car. It shocked many across the paddock, especially considering how well they wrapped up 2024. But clearly, the team believed they'd already squeezed everything they could from last year's concept. So they went bold. One of the biggest technical changes? Switching from push rod to pull rod, front suspension, a move designed to unlock more aerodynamic flexibility and set the stage for deeper development. Ferrari even released a detailed statement explaining their thinking. The new design cleans up airflow and gives the team a broader foundation for aerodynamic gains, something their previous setup had maxed out. This year's car is a true evolution. It builds on what worked in 2024 but opens the door to more potential. With the current era of rules now in its final chapter, every team knows performance gaps are razor thin. A tenth of a second could be the difference between pole and P10. And Ferrari was right about one thing: the field is extremely tight. But unfortunately for them, they've been on the wrong end of that equation so far. Team principal Frédéric Vasseur made it clear. Ferrari entered this season with championship ambitions. But despite the technical overhaul and the arrival of Lewis Hamilton, results haven't come. 4 podiums saw from Leclerc, but not once have they looked like true contenders. In fact, their performance at Silverstone was a wake-up call, where they were completely outclassed by Sauber and Nico Hülkenberg. Still, the mood inside Maranello is beginning to shift. From the first race of the season, there's been speculation in Italy about a game-changing rear suspension update. Everyone knew it was in the works, but development delays kept it shelved longer than the team had hoped until now. Earlier this week at Mugello, Hamilton and Leclerc tested the new rear suspension for the first time during a filming day in the SF25. Ferrari made full use of the track time, treating the promotional session as a stealthy shakedown ahead of Spa. This new rear setup comes on the heels of floor upgrades that already brought noticeable improvements at the Red Bull Ring and Silverstone. But this suspension update, it's the big one. It's Ferrari's final major upgrade of the season. While there's still a tweak to the power steering system on the way, which should give the drivers more feedback through high-speed corners, this suspension revamp is the headline act. It's Ferrari's last shot at turning this season around without compromising next year's car. So what's changing? The upper triangle of the suspension is being repositioned. Specifically, the front mounting point has been lowered. That may sound like a small adjustment, but in Formula One, geometry changes like this can massively affect how the car behaves. It can change how the car rides, how consistent the platform feels, and most importantly, how effective the ground effect is. Ferrari's goal is to create a car that stays as level and predictable as possible, especially during high-speed sections. The rear suspension update became necessary after engineers realized the current setup wasn't syncing with the redesigned front end introduced earlier this year. If this new rear design works, it could completely change Ferrari's setup window and give their drivers the confidence and flexibility they've been missing. All season long, Ferrari has been chasing a difficult compromise between a low-ride height needed for downforce and drivability. They got that balance horribly wrong in China, where both cars were disqualified. Since then, the team has been playing it safe, often instructing drivers to lift and coast through fast corners to avoid bottoming out. But if the new suspension does its job, Ferrari can set up their car to run lower, extract more downforce, and ditch the extreme setups that have made the car so unpredictable. This would give drivers a more traditional and balanced car-boosting comfort, unlocking confidence, and potentially shaving crucial tenths off their lap times. But make no mistake, all of this hinges on whether the upgrade delivers. We'll know soon enough at Spa. And even if it works perfectly, it will be Ferrari's final update of the year. From here on out, the focus shifts to 2026. And no one is more invested in that future than Lewis Hamilton. The seven-time world champion has made it clear he's not happy with the SF25. It doesn't suit his style, and he's pushing Ferrari to build a car around his preferences next year. But before we unpack that, if you're enjoying this video and want to stay updated with everything happening in Formula One, from race analysis to team drama and technical deep dives, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to F1 Reverse. Your support means a lot. Back to Hamilton, his first year in red hasn't gone to plan. Halfway through the season, and he's still searching for that elusive first podium. While Leclerc has been the faster of the two so far, the margin is finally starting to shrink. Still, Hamilton has struggled with how the car handles. Unlike Leclerc, who's helped develop this car from day one of the current regulations, Hamilton is trying to adapt to a platform that doesn't play to his strengths. Before the British Grand Prix, Hamilton opened up about the challenge. He said, "Charles has been part of this car's development for a long time. He knows how to make it work. I've explored other directions paths that should work, but they just don't for some reason. I've slowly moved toward Charles's setup, and last week our pace was the closest it's been. But it's still a tough car to drive. It's not something I want to deal with in the future." That's why Hamilton is already working closely with Ferrari's technical team, including Loic Serra, to ensure next year's car includes elements that reflect his driving DNA. At Mercedes, Hamilton had the freedom to shape how the car was built. He had the luxury of engineers designing around his feedback, backed by the sport's best power unit and nearly unlimited resources. And it worked. His success speaks for itself. But things are different at Ferrari. He's not the sole focus here. Leclerc also has strong input on the car's design, and the team will face the difficult task of building a car that suits both drivers. The challenge? Finding a balance without compromising overall performance. So, what do you think? Will this suspension update finally put Ferrari in contention for a race win this season? And will Hamilton's influence lead to a breakthrough car in 2026? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. And as always, drive safe, and we'll see you in the next one.